That happens.
That's a lot of comedians.
That's a lot of people. But yeah, so right now, I mean, this podcast, we're doing this to promote Headshot Comedy Show. You're going to be the headliner. We're here with Topher Shaw. So welcome.
Thank you.
Doing all right today?
It's been okay.
Yeah, good day so far. Mondays are like tricky.
Mondays are tricky. Usually Monday, just got to do a whole bunch of stuff. So
yeah, always playing catch up for the week ahead. Yeah.
So luckily I had today off. So I was like, I can do Monday or I can do Wednesday.
I appreciate you taking the time, man.
Yeah.
This is good. I know coming all the way out here is not an easy task, so I do appreciate that. So yeah, the point of this is I have 25 questions or so that we're just going to run through, just so the people out there, if they're not familiar with Memphis comedy, they can get to know the performers a little bit better, so that they hopefully want to come see the show, which will be July 7th. So check it out, Voices of the South. So Topher Shaw, where did jokes come from?
Jokes come from my childhood. Jokes get discovered in the shower in some sense.
Sure. Yeah.
Is it like a premise of thing where just my brain just kind of goes off in a way?
In a tangent?
In a tangent of just going like, what are we thinking about here?
Yeah. Trying to like make sense of all of it. Now, do you typically like write out your jokes, or do you? Okay.
Yeah, I have like probably about 6-7 notebooks. If it's not close enough, then it's going into my phone. There's been plenty of times where I go, oh, it'll stay up there. It's usually you say if it's good enough, then it'll stay up there.
Right, it'll stand the test of time.
Stand the thing to go, oh, I'll get it like that. And sometimes I'll forget it, and I go, crap, I didn't even write it down. I go, what was that thing that we were thinking about?
Yeah, it's like having the name of a song on the tip of your tongue. You just it bothers you.
It bothers you.
I know that feeling. So it starts with the notebook, then it goes to the phone, and then usually in that process you're testing it out.
Vice versa.
Okay.
Per year. And if it's something that I have forgotten, sometimes it takes hours. Sometimes it comes back within a day.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's something that I saw, and I see it again. I go, that's what it was.
Okay, like
that.
And you remember.
And I go, now I got to write down the notebook. Now we got to put it down.
Yeah, I got to stop whatever you're doing, crack open the notebook before you lose it again. So you said 6 or 7 notebooks. That sounds like a pretty extensive body of work. How long have you been doing comedy?
It's been 2014.
Okay. So yeah, you're coming up close to 10 years.
10 years. I don't want to call it 10 years because what I started in the beginning was not necessarily like full-fledged going. It was kind of like,
okay,
I'm kind of doing it. And I was probably like a lot of other people going, I'm probably going to quit for 3 weeks and go, where does this go? Because when I started, it was just like trying to be funny.
Sure, of course.
And when I was there, I was in Cordova, right there with Chuckles Comedy Club.
Right.
And I was like, okay, do open mic. I'm up and down. I don't know what.
So you weren't consistent with it?
I wasn't consistent ever with anything for the first year. I'm going, okay, that kind of worked, but then I'll go to this room and I bomb.
Yeah, it's
hard.
an anomaly.
And then I went to Midtown because Midtown was like, oh, we have comedy here like this and this, across the board. And then it was so much different. And I was like, I'm just bombing all the time here.
You're consistently bombing everywhere you go.
I go to Cordova, I go, okay, people are kind of with it.
Right,
I go,
right.
Maybe these people are just being too nice with it. And this is what's honest about it. I go, then I suck.
Well, at least you're consistent, though.
Yeah.
Consistently bombing.
Yeah.
Then you can start from there and get better. Cool. So about 10 years, and you built up some notebooks over that time. You do Memphis comedy. You talk about, Collierville, Midtown. You do comedy outside of Memphis, though.
Yeah, I do it pretty far from everything in the South. Not too particularly out west. I've gone as far as like Texas and areas like that, but not L.A. or Utah or anything in that range. But anything that's up from Chicago down, primarily that area,
right,
I've hit before.
Cool. So where do you consider home? Like, is Memphis home?
Yeah, I mean, I live here, so Memphis is home. I'm not like some of the other comedians are like, I'm going to live out of my car. I don't know how they
work the road and shit.
Yeah, I don't know how they kind of do that because that just tears up my body after weeks. I go,
yeah, it kind of wears you down, I'm sure. So Memphis is home and born and raised, or
originally from Minnesota.
Minnesota, okay.
Yeah, Minneapolis, Minnesota.
So what brought you down to Memphis initially?
My grandparents lived here, so I went to school. Everything here was school.
Okay,
and it was before I did.
So you were an early transplant.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That was everything before comedy. So anybody who saw me now like get started with doing comedy that knows me from like college goes, where the fuck was this? Or like you weren't necessarily being a comedian.
Yeah, back then.
I was being an art person, being an art student.
What'd you go to school for?
Memphis College of Art for basically doing design.
Oh, okay.
I went from high school to doing drawing, but drawing was not a major.
Sure.
When I started, so I was kind of like, a teacher was like, well, you're gonna have to do other things.
Yeah.
To kind of fill your major because you can't major out in drawing. And I goes, okay. And I go, try painting, try photography.
Something else.
You try other things. Just dip your hand in other things, and then that'll make you explore, and maybe that's what you would like to do.
Yeah. Broaden your horizons, that kind of thing.
And you can basically mix media with stuff. So by the time I became a junior, they were like, drawing's a major now. And I go, well, I mean, I got some credits for it, but now I'm starting to do all these other things with computers and stuff.
Yeah. So you found other interests beyond drawing. Cool.
So I graduated with computer arts, which is basically taking a lot of drawings and a lot of mixed media and putting it through like video and stuff.
That's probably the way to do it, because I mean, nowadays it's the digital age. Everything is graphic design, this and vector programs and stuff like that. I dabble, but I didn't go to school for any of that, so I imagine that gives you a leg up. Certainly more than doing like pencil and paper. I don't even know if that's still. I mean, there's obviously artists out there, but I don't know what kind of career path that would set you up for. What's the best breakfast?
What's the best breakfast? Right now, it's no breakfast. I'm not really a breakfast person.
Not a breakfast. You're like the third person I've had sit down here, and across the board, I've gotten like, breakfast, not really a big deal.
No, I don't know if it's just a late start in the day.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done things early in the morning. I mean, if it is something, then it's like a sausage, egg, bacon biscuit.
Okay. Yeah, just go for the biscuit.
Like that. If there's like a day where I go, I'm probably not going to be able to get lunch today, then I will start to go, hey, I probably need to shoot for something in the morning.
On your stomach.
Something in my stomach that can make 9 hours before I get to dinner.
Right. That's a long stretch to go without anything on your stomach. What do you do to exercise?
Exercise, I've done the things with running.
Yeah.
I don't particularly love running.
Yeah, me neither.
I've done stuff with the gym. I like swimming, so I guess swimming workouts and basketball.
Okay.
Is kind of
like sports and stuff.
More sports than it is weights. I've done weights, but I'm not a big weight person.
Right.
For anything.
Yeah.
So, anything with sit-ups, push-ups, like that.
Yeah, just your basic mobility exercises.
I used to do taekwondo.
Really?
Yeah.
How was that like?
That was abusive, really.
Abusive?
Yeah.
So?
Our teacher was, I don't know if he was even human, but he went through like, when we did like sparring in class like that, he was like, all right, now do 200 push-ups, now do 200 sit-ups.
Oh my God.
And you would be like, well, I could probably do the first, set in a sense.
That seems like kind of a tactic to like weed people out.
Yeah.
Like if you have 20 kids show up, you're going to make them do 200 push-ups. 10 of those kids are not coming back.
Yeah. Most people are just kind of like, this is what it is. Like, I came here to learn taekwondo, like spar and stuff like that.
Yeah, I can do push-ups at home, man. Yeah,
we can do that.
I don't need a dojo for
when
that.
When he answered his phone and you could hear everybody in class breathing hard after 100 push-ups, sit-ups.
Sure.
And you're like, we sound tired. He can answer the phone and be like, hey, what's going on? How you doing? Like,
he's just casual about it.
He's just casually talking. You're going, he's not even tired. I'm like, this sucks.
Whoa, what a racket. Do you believe in deja vu?
Yeah, to a sense, yeah. I think it's reincarnation. I think there's very much that.
So you think that feeds into deja vu?
Deja vu.
Interesting. So you think people like don't just get one go around; they come back around?
Yeah, I think if you pay attention enough to like animals and stuff like that, animals are very smart about stuff, and they have when you start kind of paying attention to how you treat animals and how animals, there's a very quality about animals that they have a very smart kind of pickup.
Yeah, intuition, kind of a gut instinct, yeah.
And they kind of see a lot of stuff, and you go, they got to see something here like that, and you go, maybe that's a person or thing.
Interesting
another
theory.
Place that's come here, and it goes, it's my second go around.
Okay.
I know.
Yeah, I've connected. I don't know what's up.
I know what's dangerous out there. I know how to be smart about things. And you go, where did they learn this from?
No, got to get the wisdom from somewhere. I feel like a lot of human beings nowadays, because we're so removed from nature, like we have that intuition, we have that connectedness, to nature and the universe and everything, but it gets kind of turned down because we get distracted.
Yeah.
You know, but cool. So a believer in deja vu. What are your desert island 5 albums?
My what?
All right, so like desert island, like the idea of like you're on an island, and just to like properly set this up, this is not like a desert island you have to fight for survival. I think of it more as like a paradise island so everything's taken care of, like you're set, food, you're not worried about shelter or anything. It's just picking like the 5 albums that you get to listen to, and that's it.
Okay, so these are the ones I would not get like sick of.
Exactly. This is the music, the soundtrack for the rest of your life.
And this is just the album, or is this the artist?
I would say just 5 albums.
Jeez, I'm a big British person. That's
All
what
right.
I came up. So a lot of it's probably going to core to being like everything that.
The Beatles, Rolling Stones.
I wouldn't even go that far past. I'm a 80s boy.
Okay.
So everything that kind of came to me was like 90s, but the picks that I gave you, you'll go, yeah, well, it's very much influenced by the Stones, the Beatles.
Of course.
All stuff.
Yeah.
It's going to be Oasis.
Okay.
Oasis.
Right on.
As what album? I guess it would had to be Definitely Maybe. Which is their first album.
All right. Good deal.
Stereophonics. I don't know if you ever heard of Stereophonics.
No, that one goes over my head.
It's like a Wales UK band.
Okay.
Would probably not even be their first. It's probably Performance and Cocktails.
Performance and Cocktails,
which is one of their albums.
So they like a punk band? Like,
no, it's British rock. British rock.
Okay.
Like music.
Right on.
Jimmy Eat World.
All right. Cool.
Which is very emo.
Yeah, they've got an edge to them.
They've changed for the past 20 years.
They've had a good evolving sound over the decades.
It would be Clarity. I know a lot of people would probably pick Bleed American because that's the thing they jumped off of.
Right. That's the one of the ones I remembered.
Yeah, Clarity was before Bleed American.
Now, was that the one with In the Middle on it?
Bleed American was the one with In the Middle.
Okay. So Clarity was before that.
They had like 5 singles.
Okay.
Everything from Clarity, people never heard of until they heard of that album, Bleed American.
Yeah, then you got to dig deep and find it.
And then you were like, oh, okay. There was a different sound.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I might have to check that out. Okay, so that's 3.
Let's see. We're gonna say Churches. Have you ever heard Churches?
I think I've heard of Churches. Is that the one where they have churches, but like the U is a V?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard of that.
It's when I first saw it, I didn't realize it's a cross. It's like a slanted cross. It's like their little kind of thing. And I always thought it was an X.
That's what I thought. I thought they were just being cool with the writing.
It was writing, but I think they're just being whatever about with it like that. But they're not trying to be churches by being religious, because none of their stuff's religious.
Well, I mean, you can have like a religious slant, but not necessarily preach with your music.
On it.
Let me see. What's okay? So that's 4. What's the 5th one?
I'm gonna say Garbage Today.
Garbage Today.
I think it mixes a lot of times. But Garbage, like the 90s band Garbage.
Yeah.
Shirley Manson. They've always had a different sound. That's always been extremely different than a lot of people. I mean, it's rock, but they've always kind of mixed it with some stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that would be my 5 albums.
That's a good playlist, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I always find I don't know a lot of the bands that people pick for those, because everyone has just such unique musical taste nowadays, because it's all readily available with Spotify and streaming and whatnot.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, really, if you wanted to break it down, you would want to be like, let me pick a Motown album. Like if it was like across the board of like what I listen to. I'm giving you basically 5 rock albums, and you go, oh, it's rock.
Yeah.
But, but really it could just be like, man, might get sick of that after, like
that's
years.
That's what I lean towards. Like if I'm picking the 5 albums that I'm going to have to listen to for the rest of my life, I can't go the same genre, all 5 albums. Like I need to mix it up, because I'm going to have sad days on the island. I want to have music that accompanies to that. I also want to have like relaxing vibes, but also, I get off into like prog metal and stuff like that. So there's just too many genres that I would want to hit on to cover all of the things that I would want to listen to for the rest of my life. Plus, people change. Your musical tastes change every few years or so.
And everything that you go, hey, I love this, because you don't necessarily put in that situation,
Mm-hmm.
You go, I give myself enough time to listen to metal, listen to rock, listen to this stuff that I'm never poured into that. But you go into an island, you go, I love those things, but I always give it enough breathing space.
Mm-hmm.
And you go, okay, and that's the thing I'm sick of this shit. Burn all 5 of those albums.
Exactly. Yeah, it's gonna get tiresome anyway. You're gonna run out. What's the best smell?
Best smell. I guess it's gonna be honey.
Honey? Okay, it's whatever you want it to be, man.
Yeah.
There's no correct answers about it, but honey, that's a good one. Yeah, I like honey. Has a particular odor to it, I guess. What's the last good thing you read?
Last good thing. I don't remember what it was called. I think I was reading it out of something that somebody else was reading.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't actually have like the book. I just had the page. So I guess would be the thing that I read.
Yeah.
To go. I don't know if it was defined as being an author. It was just something that was just like, oh, like not poetry, but it was broken down and being like, oh, I like that writing.
Okay, cool. So poetry, that's what it was. You don't remember the author or anything?
I don't even think it was defined by an author. It was one of those things where they go, oh, we're not really sure who wrote this, but it was one of those things that's kind of built kind of like poetry.
Okay.
To go,
yeah, the structure of it.
The structure to go, we're out here in the ocean, do. The clouds are this, da.
It's like prose.
Yeah, basically building a picture for you to go, okay.
Interesting.
A good perspective on life.
That fits well with the island.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ocean vibes. All right. How many chickens do you think you could fight off at one time?
Chickens like roosters?
Yeah, chickens. Yeah.
I think people underestimate chickens because chickens are very,
of course,
they're very violent.
Yeah, and in this scenario, let's take it a step further. I think these chickens, they are of one mind, and the mind is to take you out. Like they're out for blood, basically.
Okay.
So like, how many do you think you could fight off before it's going to be a wrap?
I'm gonna say 8.
8?
I'm gonna say 8.
That's an honest number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think 12 is too much. I think 12 is taking me out. I think 8. I stay up for a little bit.
Right. You can fight off 8.
I got 2 arms, 2 legs, and so each one's.
So you can take out at least 2 chickens with each appendage. Yeah, and not even counting a headbutt. Like you can headbutt one, I suppose.
So if it was more than 8, and you got 4 more, then that now I've
you're thinking of it in increments of 4. Like you're just jumping over 9, 10, 11.
Yeah,
jumping from 8 to 12.
I'm thinking, each Benjamin. I'm like, I got 2. I can kick 2. I got 2. After that, they get on my back. They headbutt me. They hit me in the groin.
Interesting, of course. Yeah, feathers flying everywhere.
I can't move that fast.
Gotcha. It does come down to a speed thing because strength all day you can handle chickens, but they are going to get quick after a while. 8 chickens, cool. I love the answers that I get to that question so much.
Has anybody said anything ridiculous?
Yeah.
It's 35.
Yeah, we can talk about it. I'll name names later, but one guy was like, "Oh, I could take 500 chickens at one time." I'm like, "Hold on." He's like, "Well, if they're coming out in waves," I'm like, "No, not in waves. 500 chickens in a field attacking. There's no way." But some people have confidence, I guess, that they could deal out massive amounts of chicken damage. Oh man, 8 feels like a fair, honest assessment. If you died and went to heaven, what would you like to hear upon arriving at the pearly gates?
As music or as a message or?
Sure, yeah, the music or message, yeah. Just like how do you want to be greeted?
I guess I can be silly about this one.
Go for it.
Would be Mexican restaurant music. Like, hell yeah!
All right,
there's a ponchos up here.
They got some good food in heaven.
There's good food up here.
Finally, thank God. It's not just fish and chips.
Yeah. I think that's what you would want if you went to heaven. You were like, hey, I know this sound.
Something familiar.
Familiar.
Okay, so Mexican restaurant music is where it's at for you.
You hear Satan music, you're like, God dang.
Oh, yeah. Took a wrong turn.
Wrong one.
Oh, fuck.
Turns out God's down in the ground and Satan's up above.
Yeah. Prince of the air. Good. Mexican, I like that. What upsets you?
Not most of anything.
You don't get rattled?
I don't get rattled at all. And I would say that's all because of my childhood. I've had a very extended childhood of a lot of like depressing things and a lot of just miscues and a lot of just.
So your threshold for like getting it's just it's too high for you to be affected.
Yeah, by like teenage years where you as a kid go like, oh, want to go see movies or want to hang out with friends, and friends disappoint you like that, and at a certain point, it hit a mark where just going like fuck it, like
I'm not going to be upset anymore.
I'm not upset about it. I do it on my own, so I do a lot of stuff just on my own. So if there's a movie I want to see, I go see the movie by myself. I don't hold anybody into accountability to be like, oh, guess we're not going to see this movie. I guess we're not going to see this concert. I guess we're not traveling to this place. I go, fuck it. Then it's me.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you find out it's a lot more happier. You're not surrendering to
not being reliant on someone else for your happiness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If somebody else is coming with you, then they're kind of pulling you apart to go, hey, we're doing this. Can we also do this? Now it's just your thing. You go.
No, I think there's a lot to be said for enjoying your own company.
Yeah.
And it's a valuable skill set to have. Certainly, you
find a lot of peace with it, to be like not brought down by anything. You get your own kind of time, your own enjoyment to what you wanted out of it.
Right.
And nobody, you never, you take friends and stuff like that, and they go, I gotta go. I gotta get home. I gotta do this. I gotta do stuff. Now you're just
and it's like they're taking the good time with them.
You're on your own journey. So you go, I can stay here as long as I want to. I can hang out. If I want to see the band, or
choose your own adventure.
Yeah.
I like that outlook. If someone made a Netflix documentary about your life, what would it be called? Oh crap.
Wow.
Yeah.
Don't know what we would call it.
Yeah. Oftentimes you got to make things, and then I like to make things and then title them. Because if you set a title to start with, you end up trying to find things to fill that title rather than actually letting the thing be what it is.
Yeah. I mean, it's been. I mean, you just talked about music, and I was like, I used to do a lot of music, and that was the same way, just demoing stuff. You go, well, it's this, but I don't really have a title for it. And some people could, same way with art, be like, it's untitled or it's Title 1.
Yeah.
And giving it some type of description, or it's drums with this.
Right.
And then you kind of go into it and you go, well, now I have words for it. Same way with a documentary. So maybe they film it and you go, I got this and I got that. And you go, okay, well, this is depressing or this is happy. Then you kind of come up.
Then you find the title.
The title, and you go, maybe it's called Happy This.
I still like Oh Crap, the Topher Shaw story. That would be really good. I'd watch that one.
Yeah. I mean, Tommy, Tommy Oler, he used to call me, been called Toph Man. He used to call me Tophman Tia.
Tophman Tia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Tophman Tia, the story.
Okay.
Could be.
I like that. That'd be good.
Very alliteration.
Yeah, the alliteration's very strong. I think that would that'd be a good title. People would be interested in that. It also sounds like it could be like a wrestler's backstory.
Yeah.
So there is that.
Which is very much what John Miller always brings me up as being some type of wrestler.
What is the history behind that? Is that just him being John, or?
I think it's him being John. I mean, I've watched wrestling before. It's not like I tell jokes about wrestling. So.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I've been trying to piece it together. Like, I had to ask myself, and I was like, was Topher involved in wrestling? Or?
Yeah, he's done the same thing with Ross by saying he's the voice of a cartoon for Nickelodeon.
I don't know where.
John used to work for Nickelodeon, but Ross never. I mean, maybe that's because Ross is the voice of a radio, so he's just like,
he's just riffing, just giving people some kind of weird, obscure history. Let's see. What's your favorite word?
Favorite word? Would it be the word I use the most, or I don't know if I really have a favorite word. I guess I could say definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I appreciate the amount of thought you're putting into it. You're not just like saying a word at random.
No, it's not a word at random.
Definitely is a good one.
I'm a Sagittarius. So I'm a very spontaneous person.
Right on.
So a lot of things that like if I jump to something, then I'm definitely doing it.
Yeah.
So I am one of those people. So when if you're a person or a friend or like that, and I go like I'm in, then I'm in. So that could be going. I'm definitely
Okay.
So I don't back out of a lot of things unless I get hit by a bus.
That's good reason. Yeah, if you get hit by a bus, like you don't feel like the need. You have to come do a podcast or do a show.
Sorry, I'm not gonna make the meeting today.
Yeah, I just got hit by a bus. I think most people would understand if someone gives you grief like about getting hit by a bus and that cancels your plans. That's not a person you need in your life. I don't think. So. How many pillows do you sleep with?
It's 2. It should be more.
Should be more.
So
you aspire to have more pillows.
I don't know if that just makes your body rest better.
Maybe. I don't know. I sleep with 2 as well.
Yeah, 2.
So like I have the one under the head, and I usually grab one. But yeah, two is par for the course for me.
Yeah. I think it's because I'm either like dead asleep or I'm not sleeping well. Mm-hmm. So if there's free pillows, then it's just a covering. It's almost like a hideout in a sense.
Yeah, he's just nesting away.
Nesting away. So wherever I turn,
there's always
it's kind of a pillow,
comfort on every side.
Comfort every side. So you have one behind, your back and your front, and then your head.
Yeah, curl up, be the little spoon against the pillows. Yeah, that's cool. You aspire to like how many pillows do you think is too much?
If you go to a woman's house and it's like 12 pillows, I think
that's obnoxious.
That's obnoxious. Yeah.
I don't like that, and I don't like the decorative pillows when it's a pillow, but it's not comfortable at all.
It's
like the fabric is rough. Yeah, like why? Yeah. You could buy a painting or something other than that, but.
I think as a kid, you saying that you like hold one. I think some people put one between their legs.
I've done that before
as a thing to kind of just brace,
your
spine.
Where your hips are a little bit lined up better.
So I think 4 to 5 would be the most that you need.
I agree. Like you get beyond 5 pillows, you need to reevaluate some things. Yeah, for sure. What's your favorite holiday?
It's Halloween.
Why?
Halloween's my holiday. Because I've had so many people, when I said I was like a childhood, I've had every person that I've ever known pass away, parents, grandparents. So I hate Christmas. I hate Thanksgiving.
Because it's the family sentiment?
It's a family kind of sentiment thing. I don't hate it so much like I hate it like with a passion or like that.
Sure, no. I don't.
That's maybe too strong of a word.
But it's not a good feeling.
It's not a good feeling. It's just a day. Just basically a day-to-day for me. Like,
so what's different about Halloween? Like how do you feel about Halloween versus the family sentiment around Thanksgiving?
I get to do stuff. Halloween, I get to go out. Halloween, I get to dress up. Halloween,
it's a party.
I can hang out with people. Halloween, I can go to haunted houses.
Yeah,
I can go to just whatever it is.
It is an active holiday.
It's a very active holiday.
It's like the kickoff of harvest season, so everyone's, it's not too cold outside yet, but it's still like fall. The heat's broken.
4th of July.
That's a big one.
Not big with firecrackers. Never was big with firecrackers.
No.
Summertime's swimming.
Sure.
Like that. So, but for most of those holidays, it was Halloween. When I used to drink a lot, it was St. Patty's Day, treated like American, which really it's not really that kind of holiday. You go over to England and stuff like that. They go to church.
Yeah.
They don't eat this ridiculous stuff. They don't drink.
It's amazing how Americans will take anything and just make it into a party.
Yeah. And of course, we live in Memphis, so now every holiday, if you've noticed, is firecrackers. Even Halloween.
I haven't noticed firecrackers. I've noticed alcohol and like partying and stuff like that. Like that, every excuse they have. That's May 4th is Star Wars Day. They're gonna party. Cinco de Mayo. They're gonna party. Memorial Day. They're gonna party. It's like at the end of the day, you have a major holiday just about every month. So if you're actually partying every major holiday, you're never getting anything. Yeah. I'm never getting anything done. I can't party one weekend and then the next day be ready to go and be productive.
Yeah. I would just pay attention to this year because when 4th of July shows up, you're going to, of course, hear fireworks.
Of course.
On 4th of July. But it's the ridiculousness of when we get to July 18th, and you hear firecrackers, you go, what the fuck are you shooting firecrackers for?
Still going off.
We're so off on this. And then you get to Halloween, and sometimes I've heard one year where
Yeah.
Firecrackers, and you get to Christmas, you go, why are firecrackers going off?
It's just such an odd thing to spend your money on. I'm gonna blow this money up.
Yeah.
Literally gonna light it on fire. Interesting. That's cool. Halloween. That's an answer I haven't gotten yet. What was your first job?
My first job was working at the Malcolm movie theater.
Mm-hmm.
Which is one of my jokes.
You told jokes about that before, which you can see at Headshot Comedy Show on July 7th.
I'll tell that one, of course.
Did you enjoy your first job? Like, what age did you start working there?
I was at the movie theater, and then when I went to college, I did a whole bunch of like art things, and I was doing jobs with a little bit of art. And then I ran into this lady because I was actually designing a lot of windows for a lot of restaurants.
Interesting.
For holidays, basically. So Christmas come around, they're like, "Can you put Santa Claus and
so like the paintings for the windows,
whatever you want to call it, the markers, the window markers."
Yeah.
And they were like, "Can you just
like
design
artwork?"
Yeah, artwork to kind of design, make it look very Christmassy, make it
right on.
So I did that, and this lady paid attention to it and goes, "Can you build a whole entire?" It was for a movie. I think it was called Over the Hedge. It's an animated movie.
And what did they have you doing for it?
Built basically like a neighborhood in a sense. Basically like
like a 3D model.
3D model, like the fence, buildings. They were really just kind of like 2D. It's almost kind of like a backdrop. Mm-hmm. It was basically to put it in the middle because the movie was coming out, and kids would come and they could bob for apples and do all these little games.
Okay,
and that's the fun that I found in the art, because when I did stuff in college, I was like, I don't really care to put stuff into museums.
Yeah,
like everybody's kind of shooting for that. I was like mine. It's active. Like it's.
I like how you point to the work down as you're tearing it down. Yeah, this bullshit here. I was doing something that the kids could enjoy. Thanks.
So it's kind of like, the kids get to interact with it. So I'm like my art takes on a different kind of thing for what it is. And I don't know if you wouldn't necessarily call it art.
Oh, but I think so. Like the idea of doing something creative, people, they see an overpass and they tend not to think of that as art, but it is creative. Yeah. It's design, it's building something. And I'm sure, for the film thing that you had to do, like designing something that's interactive, they get the kids to get to play with. That to me sounds really enticing, because you get to see people interact and how it shapes them and how it affects them. That's really cool. That's a cool job. Do you believe in deja vu?
Yeah, you asked me that.
Did I? Oh, okay.
Did you?
You're the first person to catch that. What's one thing that you own that you really should throw out?
Oh my goodness.
That's the face of reflection there. I like that.
Jesus Christ. What do I have? I might actually say that I've probably already thrown it out. It was a very old keyboard.
Very old like music keyboard?
Yeah, music keyboard. The last time I moved, I just put it out. And I think this woman was like, my kid's going to love this.
Of course.
And I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah. How long have you been holding on to it?
Probably had it since I was like 12.
Oh, okay. So yeah, this was an old school.
And it wasn't like a professional studio keyboard. It was one of those keyboards like the keys light up to show you how to learn how to play the.
No, that's amazing.
But I did like the sound of it stuff, and I've seen some videos where people have posted where they have the Gorillas when they did that song. There was actually a bunch of the backtrackings.
Is it Clint Eastwood?
Clint Eastwood.
Yeah. I like that track.
It was a backtracking on like a very old like keyboard.
I always picked up on that. Like I know the riff that you're talking about. It's kind of like ethereal. I always thought that was like a melodica or a harmonica or something.
Yeah,
not a harmonica.
It was a pre-programmed thing on the keyboard.
Yeah,
so it was nothing that the Gorillas did to go, hey, we're mixing this in the studio.
They just pressed
the button and they had the like that.
It works though.
They go, that's our song, part of our song.
Yeah, no, that totally fits.
And you go. So I had a lot of those on there, and that's just the first time I did like learn a keyboard. Mm-hmm. I'm not a pianist. I can play some stuff.
Well, yeah, but you I mean, if you enjoy it, like you commented on the drum set out there. I know how to play drums. I don't drum actively, but it's still something that I enjoy playing. So I like to have it there for when I do feel like playing. So yeah, I think if you get enjoyment out of doing something, do it, and you don't have to call yourself a musician or whatever. Just enjoy what you do.
Yeah. Is there something that you're holding on to that you?
Oh God, books.
Books.
Yeah, the room over, I've got like way too many books that I just, have purchased, and I'm probably never going to read them.
Yeah.
But it's just like having them around, something about that I really enjoy. Things that I should get rid of. I always need to purge my clothes. Like I have too many shirts I don't wear, stuff like that. I mean, beyond that, just clutter, just like going through and be like, do I use this? Have I used this in the last 3 months? No. Well, then why am I holding on to it?
I mean, that's probably what happens to me when I move. I realize that I'm a mode. I just need to get rid of a whole bunch of stuff all the time. I go, why am I holding on to all this kind of things?
Yeah, it's just stuff, man. Like if you're not using it actively, then what are you doing with it?
So every time I just move, I just go, okay, I'm probably just going to get rid of this.
Time to purge.
Because a lot of times it's like I want to make my travel as easy as possible from one location to the next. So I don't want to make it 6 trips.
Yeah.
Or have to get a moving van.
Yeah, get like one box to fit all my stuff.
So it comes to a presenting of going, if it doesn't fit into my car after one trip, then
it's got to get out. It's got to go.
So
that's a good way to be about it. Like you just got to recognize, I don't need all this crap.
Yeah. You wish there was like have you have like your media and stuff where you're like, I got the cloud to put my music or put all the stuff. You're like, it's nowhere in my eyesight. But it's
accessible.
It's accessible. If I ever need it, I can pull it down like that. You wish there was like
that for your stuff.
Like there's portals that you could,
Oh, for sure, man.
Like 2036.
If I just had a closet that connected between different houses and I could just throw stuff in there, be like, oh, I need a pen. There it is.
Yeah.
I would do that in a heartbeat.
That's what you do. Just have a portal. Just go, all right, all this stuff.
Wouldn't that be some shit? Like we discover portal technology and Americans just use it to store all their crap.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's what they would use it for.
I always thought to be the coolest thing with like traveling too. So instead like planes and trains and cars.
Oh, for sure. Just you're there.
Yeah. Or what very little you had to do to be like, I had to drive to the portal, 15 minutes, park my car. But, I'm going to LA and they go, the portal's going to take you 2 minutes,
But you still got to find parking for the portal.
Yeah.
I like that. If you had an assistant, what would their daily responsibilities be?
Jeez. I don't want to make it sound like they're a maid,
I mean, the term is assistant, but they're going to do, within reason and legality what you tell them to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like clean your house.
I don't even want to go that far. I mean, if it's assistant, my life's not that chaotic.
Sure.
To need another person. So if it was like assistant, like if the branch was going like, you're this good of a comedian now like that, I guess it's whatever assistants would do. That'd be like, I got to fix your social media. I got to do this. We got to post this. I got to book your stuff.
So you'd use them to help your career.
Yeah, help career. That would probably be the very, thing about it.
Yeah. I don't know what I would have them do either. Like to set a daily schedule. I can barely sometimes set a schedule for myself.
Yeah.
So setting a schedule for someone else that would be their responsibility. Is like I don't need an assistant that shows up and I'm like I have to tell them everything to do. I want them to know what to do, so that I'm not babysitting for them. Yeah. Let's see. Let me make sure we're doing good on time. We can do one more. What are your goals for this week?
In general, or are you talking about in life?
Life, general, whatever comes to mind. What are your goals for this week?
Oh boy. I guess to get my work done.
That's good.
You've been following me on Instagram. I've been writing, and I was calling it jokes at the beginning, but then it's just basically writing at this point.
Yeah.
So I just kind of call it writing. If you find humor in it, then you see the humor. If it's not there, then it's still sucking. And if it's gotten better, then hopefully whatever.
Now, are you talking about the one-offs? Because I'll see somewhere you'll post like a text story, and it's to me it's like a setup punch. Like it's not a long form joke, obviously, but it's more of like a Stephen Wright joke where it's just setup punchline. Is that what you're talking about?
There was a little bit of going. This is when I started. Was by the first of the month was going. This is simple. And then I was like, I got to make it harder on myself. And then I was like, I got to make it seem more personal. And that just seemed like, oh, it's just a very cosmetic kind of thing that I'm pulling out of my brain. Let me make it this apparatical thing that I'm writing. At this point now, we're at like the 20th of June.
Yeah.
It's writing going, this is what was in my brain, and this is how I would act of it. And I don't know if it's necessarily a fully formed joke, but this is what's come out of my brain.
So you're just trying to write more?
Yeah, it's basically you were asking me earlier about like what have you read? That was some of the things that I was reading was goal oriented as being like a comedian.
Yeah.
It's not being like most people probably aren't doing this in our scene or just going, oh, this came to me here. And next Thursday, something will come to me was going every day something. This is
so committing to like the daily habit.
Yeah, to the habit. To always writing. So
interesting.
If you're a photographer, you're like, I'm shooting every day. I may not be shooting the best thing, but I'm shooting.
But you're sticking with the commitment of the craft.
The craft
actually
of it.
Doing it.
So something's coming out, something's pouring out, and you're rewriting it, you're fixing it, you're continuously on. You're not holding it in.
Yeah, not holding on to ideas, but actually
things, everything's just kind of pouring out, and you go, some of it's going to suck, some of it's just going to be whatever.
Well, I think that is part of the process is like embracing, it's not always going to be stellar, but committing to the act of being creative, like the process, that's how you prepare for like the really good ideas when they come. You've already put in the practice of being productive, being creative. So when that lightning bolt hits, you can actually work with it. You don't lose it.
Because if you see the form of like people that are really doing Netflix specials like that, they have to be like always writing. It's probably something in their notebook, something in their phone.
Sure.
It's a continuous day. And you would say that would be exhausting. Says if you have to do all that traveling, you got to do all that writing, you have to always keep your craft going like
be
that.
Working at it. Don't let it atrophy.
You would always be kind of exhausted by it.
Especially unless you condition yourself for it. So that's like the idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's probably some people that are very naturally good writers. And there's probably people that are naturally humorous people. They're funny. So it's like, it just pours out. And some people take the craft in a hardship, and some people take it very lighthearted and go, I can just get up on the stage and just kind of riff at it and just go, well, you're naturally good at that.
Well, and there is some value to that, to like having that at X factor, whatever you call it, of like being able to just turn it on and be funny. And that's great. I don't take anything away from people who ride that line, but I do see that. And it's always, for me, I wonder, man, how much further would you be along if you actually put the work in?
Yeah.
Because like hard work and dedication, they beat raw talent, I think 9 times out of 10. Yeah. Just by committing to being better and putting the work in and, actually putting an effort into it. If you don't have that, then when opportunities come along, it's like you're cutting yourself short. You're not allowing yourself to actually explore the full potential of what you could do. Cool. So goals for the week: stick with the writing. That's good.
Yeah. It was a book that I think had a lot of stuff with Jerry Seinfeld.
Is This Anything?
I mean, it's got him named in the book.
Oh, okay.
As in a lot of the passage, and I guess it's a lot of his ways of going about it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I got his book, Is This Anything? It sounds like you're talking about a different book.
I think it's a different book.
Yeah. The one that I got is literally just his jokes written out.
No. This is the one that's basically, I guess, is the goal-oriented, always doing this, and I think they just brought him up as a point.
As an example.
As an example of going, you see why he's gone from so many years like that is because, like, he's not thrown away the joke. He's stuck to, like, everything all the time, and I guess they've probably interviewed him and asked him, like, how do you go about this? And he goes, well, I'm writing every day, and nothing's bad, nothing's, nothing's like, oh, this is not good, so this goes in the trash. He's like, this sticks here, and this sticks here, and this sticks here, and I'll go back to this, and you go like he's a monster basically. Just
he's a workaholic, man.
Going through all the stuff.
Yeah,
so,
well, that's what it takes, I think. And people look at that and they say, oh, he got lucky. No, luck surely had something to do with it, but it's not like he didn't do the work, to be ready when that opportunity came along. I think that's the step a lot of people miss is putting the work in ahead of time before the opportunity comes along, so that when it does come along, you're actually ready and like you have the glove, you can catch it.
Yeah, he's meeting the right people, at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
But he's also can back up everything because some of the other people probably aren't that far into it, and they go, well, it's the thing you were talking about. It's going like you're naturally funny up there, but do you do all this? Do you write? No, it's kind of do this on the whim.
Yeah.
You meet Jerry Seinfeld and he goes, oh yes, I've done all this writing like this, and I do this.
I'm talented. I am funny, and I work my ass off. Yeah. I'd rather hear that from someone, and also being agreeable. Like I find that people being able to work well together, like being able to work with someone, that for me goes so much further. My background's in theater, and that's a collaborative art form where you have a director, you have a costume designer, you have a lighting designer, and then you have the actors, and all those people have to like come together in a room and figure out how are we going to tell this story. And if you're a person with an ego in that space, it doesn't work. Like they might tolerate you, especially if you're talented, to a point. Yeah. But eventually you're going to be on your way out. And I've seen that happen time and time again. But yeah, that just, code for success. How often do you buy clothes?
Not as often as I used to, I would say. Mostly because we were talking before, like throwing stuff out.
Yeah.
Again, kind of used to going like, I have enough band T-shirts.
Yeah.
Most of the time when you're like a kid, you always had that kind of kid aspect of going, new shoes. I get this, new shirt like this.
We're very well-trained consumers.
Yeah, to that. And also like your parents are like, you always need new socks. You always need stuff. So if your parents, feeding into being like, okay, I'm always getting clothes.
Of course.
Getting clothes all the times in the holidays. Then again, is like an adult, now you kind of have the aspect of just on your shoes going, I'm gonna ride these out until I can't
until the sole's falling out.
The sole's fall out. You probably can't see my shoes here, but these are
worn down.
Worn down.
Okay.
I don't wear these shoes often much, but it's kind of has that kind of thing.
That's how I get with it too, man. Like I'm to a point now where all I really want are 7 shirts, just so I can wear one each day of the week and then rinse and repeat. And then even then, like if I see some people on Monday, but I'm seeing a different group of people on Tuesday, I'm going to recycle the clothes that I wore, unless there's a stain on them or something, or it's like unwearable. Yeah, I'm not just to avoid, just to be able to put off laundry for one more day. I'll recycle the same clothes over and over again.
I do the thing with jeans. Jeans will get rips and tears until it becomes like, okay, now it's not even wearable.
Right. Like it's all. I'd rather like stick with a pair of jeans that I've had for a year or two than have to buy a new pair and like break them in and shit.
I was about to say it's more comfortable. Everything that you probably, if you got 7 shirts and you got a couple pants and everything's a lot more comfortable, a lot more easy.
Yeah. Don't have to think about it too. That's the other nice thing.
Yeah.
Is like don't have to think. Well, what am I going to wear today? Like same shit, man. Yeah. I want to wear the same button up and the same pants. That's it. Dogs or cats?
Preferably dogs. I enjoy both of them.
Yeah? Prefer dogs, though?
I prefer dogs. I think dogs connect much better with me. I've had cats before. Some cats
just not vibe.
Or don't vibe. Cats always just have, sometimes, a lot of times, with claws. And cats just have their kind of immediate space. And I don't know if I necessarily have ever had a cat that's just like, I guess the way to look at it is cats, either if they're being very alone about themselves, then I'm just going, it's not even my pet. It's they don't even want to.
They don't even want to hang out.
Don't even want to fuck with me at all like that. And then if you have a cat that's too evasive, then it's just like, Jesus Christ, you're scratching me all the time. It's like, I don't need to
scratching all the time or like licking you. I don't care for that. My parents have 2 cats at their house, and for whatever reason, like they have a lake house, so like I tend to walk around barefoot when I'm out there. Just it's more comfortable. Yeah. And for whatever reason, when the cat finds me, it always just starts licking at my toes, and I don't care for it. Yeah. And I don't want to be mean to the cat because I don't know why it's doing it, but it's just weird. They have that really bristly tongue.
Yeah, it's bristly. It doesn't even feel like it's comfortable, the tongue.
But dogs are nice. Like dogs always get excited when you walk in the house. Yeah. They unless they're skittish, they don't really care about personal space. They'll get right up in there.
There was one that was happening that I haven't wrote it out, and I was like, I don't know if this could be a joke, but it was this lady brought her dog to my work, and of course people see dogs, and there's a pet store that's next door to my work, so of course.
Now, is this like a service animal, or is this just she wants her dog near her?
It's just a little dog, and we're, as a business, we're okay with little dogs as long as you're not bringing, Doberman Pinscher,
Cujo or something,
big dogs that could do harm. So anytime you have like Chihuahuas or little dogs or anything like that, it's like they can walk around.
They're as long as they're not tearing shit up.
Not tearing shit up, and then they can start having a shit house, shit all over the place. But they brought her dog in, and of course people were like, "Oh my God, the dog is here!" like that, and of course people always put their hand out and be like that. Yeah, and this was one of those dogs that was like I don't like strangers at all. Yeah. So it would do the growling,
snarl and
shit, like that, and she goes, "I'm sorry, like he just doesn't like strangers." So
maybe you shouldn't have brought him in the store though.
I mean, he was okay as long as nobody was trying to like pet him.
Okay, yeah.
So he was just about himself. Like I know my owner, I know people that I live with.
Yeah.
I just don't want strangers. It'd be the same thing if you were shopping the store and I just come over there and go, "Hey, is that like that?"
That'd be a bit much.
I don't even know.
I might start growling at you for that. Yeah.
You'd be like, first we need to be introduced.
Yeah.
Like that. So she had a couple of people that were like, "We'd like to try," and the dog was like, "I'm
not having it.
Not having it like that." I was 20 feet back. I heard the conversation, but it was reluctant to give it. I was like, I'm still going to give it a shot.
Oh, yeah. So you saw where people messed up with the dog, and you were like, I can win this one over.
Yeah. Because I think that's how we all feel. Like, do I have to?
They'll choose me.
So the dog came through, and I put my hand, and the dog licked my fingers like that, and was just wagging its tail. She's like, "Oh my God! Like he doesn't like strangers at all. Like
that's always such a compliment
like that." Yeah. So I wanted to go, well, it's the autism baby.
Yeah.
He smells the autism.
He can trust me.
He trusts me.
Oh, man. All right. If a picture is worth 1,000 words and music is the food of love, what album cover would sum up your relationships?
I don't think you're coming through the mic.
You not hearing me?
There you go. No.
Okay, you hear me now?
It was going out.
Oh, I'm sorry. I skipped over a question. We'll come back to that in a second. We'll do this one. If a picture is worth 1,000 words and music is the food of love, what album cover would sum up your relationships?
My relationship with the world. My relationship.
Yes, with the world.
It's like ones I have to like think about for like.
These are deep questions.
Jesus.
Yeah. We're not just going to stay on the surface level the whole time. It's not always going to be dogs or cats.
Trying to think, what is the thing that I see in an album cover? Which, by the way, that's what bands are doing now. They're less likely to promote their band as a whole as people. They do artwork like this or something like that, where they go, "Oh, if you bought our LP or you bought for it like on a record player,
right?
You're like, it looks like a picture of art.
Yeah,
so you're more likely to put it into your home studio or put it on your
put it on display on your or
fireplace,
something.
And people go, "Oh, I like that piece of art," and you go, "That's actually an
album.
A
whole album.
It's
cover,
an album.
Yeah.
It's actually music." Oh man,
maybe I should sell these as album covers. Yeah,
it would work. Oh man, what is something that I think is just out there? I mean, you could go with Pink Floyd.
Oh yeah, of course.
something to that degree.
The Wall, Dark Side of the Moon.
Dark Side of the Moon. I'm trying to think of people's albums covers that are just particularly out there. Maybe a Deftone album, because they always kind of come up with these weird kind of.
Radiohead always has weird album covers.
Kind of thing.
Flaming Lips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe Fantagram. Yeah, I think that might be my fifth one instead of Garbage.
Okay, we're going back to the Desert Island.
Desert Island. I think Fantagram has a couple albums that have interesting album covers.
We'll have to look those up. Fantagram. Is that Phantagram?
Fantogram. Fantogram.
Fantogram.
Yeah.
Write them down so I can find the album cover. Fantogram. All right. Here's a fun one. How can humanity improve itself starting today?
Well, I think the best thing right now is all the billionaires need to give up all that money.
Okay.
Start fixing.
Redistribute the wealth.
Yeah, because nobody needs that much money. So
it's a pretty obscene amount.
Yeah. So the sooner everybody gets on board about doing it, the better quality of life would happen.
Yep.
If we feel like
you hear that, Bezos? Spread the wealth.
Yeah, spread the wealth. It's not a hierarchy of these people being way up here and these people being really low and the rest of us kind of sinking around.
Yeah.
We all get a little bit closer to just maintaining and fixing stuff. And
that would be good if we could all like have a universal basic income or something like that where everyone can be taken care of at least.
Yeah.
Not have to worry about where food's coming from or where you have a roof over your head.
Yeah. If you spread it around and start taking care of Africa and all these other indigenous areas where there's like, we have nothing like that. And you go, you guys have nothing and they have everything. This doesn't seem fun.
Yeah, it's not a good balance.
So we start balancing that out. I think technology is nice, but I think we're getting a little bit too much with robots and things like that.
Too much with robots.
And I think some of that stuff is starting to become scary with the AI.
Oh, for sure. So you think we should pump the brakes with technology?
Pump the brakes. I think it should only be a certain amount to a degree of it. Stop letting them have that much power.
All right. Because
I was talking to a girl like a week ago about that, going like, we watch too many of these movies, and none of these movies pan out too well.
No, we have the predictive programming. We know where this is headed. We just need to slow down a little bit. Yeah.
Because the last thing we need to do is be slaves, and then
it seems to be heading that way.
That's where it's going. And then we will be living on Mars because they'll be like, this is our planet. You can go ahead and get with Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
And we'll send you up to a different planet.
Yeah, you can terraform Mars for us. Do the grunt work up there. Wow. That's a good answer. Redistribute the wealth. Well, good deal. Thank you for being here, man.
I think your mic's going out.
Is it going out?
Yeah.
Because I can hear or maybe your headphones are going out.
Okay.
Yeah. I might have to recheck your headphones. But no, I can hear you.
Okay.
And I can hear me. So I think it's recording and everything. This will probably come out like the week before, maybe 2 weeks before the show. Do you have any shows coming up? Anything you want to plug for the people out there?
The shows I have High Cotton tomorrow. I have Don't Tell Knoxville on the 23rd.
Okay.
And I have Kansas City at the July 1st. And then I have Headshot
Comedy
July
Show.
7th.
July 7th. It'll be Cooper Young, Voices of the South Space. Topher, thanks for being here, man.
Appreciate it. Thanks so much.